And at this point, what are the most common mistakes you see first timers, CTOs make all the time?
Yeah, I would say that premature organization that I mentioned is one of them because people just rush to try and give titles to stuff. Sometimes we try and treat our organization like we treat code. We want to have good naming for everything. We want to make everything tidy and nice. But with people, it's not like software. We have to wait a bit more. We have to let things settle. We have to see how things are going. Another example would be focusing so much on the roadmap, on delivering it, that we don't look long term and we don't see what should be coming ahead and start planning. I know that it's very, very easy. It's the path of least resistance to go into execution mode and focus on things like the architecture and the coding standards and stuff like that. But as real leaders, we have to be the ones who are looking forward and thinking, should the team be bigger by, let's say, 2 quarters ahead? Because if so, you should start hiring those people right now and plan for things like where the company might be expanding in the market, for example, and starting to build the product in a way that would match that sort of stuff. Um, and lastly, I would think that a very, very typical first timer mistake is looking at your team as it is right now and thinking that everyone thinks and understands things like you do. So, for example, when you're a CTO, you have a deadline and you know in your head, you know when a deadline is, a real deadline. If we miss it, something really bad is going to happen. And when it's something that the company has decided about a date, but if we miss it by a week or two, nothing bad is going to happen. And I see people all the time not communicating that to their people. And therefore, the engineers under them, they tend to treat every deadline as a true deadline. They never want to miss it. And then that means that we get this cascading effect where if you tell me, Aviv, you have to get this feature done by May 1st, I'm going to add all the buffers to make sure that I'm going to get to it on May 1st. I'm going to cut all of the features that I don't have to do. So by May 1st, 100% it's done. And if the company could have lived with pushing the deadline by a week or two, we might have created a better feature as a whole because I would have known that I have more space here. So we have to understand that we need to translate things so our people understand what we have in our minds and what context we hold.